Have you ever walked into a room and completely forgotten why you went in there? It feels like your brain just glitched. But what if I told you that glitch is actually proof that your brain is working perfectly? By the end of this video, you are going to understand the simple three-step process your mind uses to save memories and why it intentionally deletes the boring stuff to keep you sane. You need to watch this, because if you don't understand how your brain's save button works, you're going to keep losing the memories that actually matter. We usually assume our memory works like a smartphone camera. You see something interesting, your brain snaps a picture, saves it, and it stays there forever. When you want to remember it, you just open the folder and look. That sounds logical, but it's completely wrong. If your brain worked like a phone gallery or a hard drive, you would run out of storage space before you even started school. The real way your brain handles memory is much stranger. It isn't a camera, it's more like a construction crew that never stops working, constantly building new structures, tearing old ones down, and sometimes painting over the old walls to make them look different than they really were. Today, we're going to drop the complex science terms and look at what's actually happening inside your head. We're going to explain why you can remember the lyrics to a song you haven't heard in 10 years, but you can't remember what you ate for breakfast yesterday. To understand that, you need to know that memory works in 3 stages: building the path, storing it, and editing it. To see how a memory is built, imagine your brain as a thick jungle. Inside this jungle are billions of tiny cells called neurons. Think of each neuron as a person standing in the forest. They want to pass messages to each other, but they can't touch. There's a tiny gap between them. When you learn something new, it's like sending a messenger through that jungle from one person to another. The first time the messenger runs that route, it's hard. The grass is tall, vines block the way, and rocks slow everything down. That's why doing something new feels awkward and exhausting. Your brain is literally cutting a new path through the jungle. But when you repeat that action, the grass gets flattened, the branches break, a path starts to form. Eventually, that path becomes so clear you can move through it without thinking at all. That path is what a memory really is. It's not a file in a folder, it's a physical connection between brain cells. Scientists describe this with a simple rule: neurons that fire together, wire together. Every repetition strengthens the connection. Every practice run widens the road. This is why skills feel automatic over time. You aren't remembering harder, you're traveling a path your brain has already built. But building the path isn't enough. The brain also has to decide whether to keep it. Think of your brain as having 2 storage areas. The first is temporary storage, often called the hippocampus. You can think of it as a waiting room. When you hear a new name or glance at a grocery list, that information sits in the waiting room. The problem is that this room is small and fragile. If you get distracted or overloaded, the information disappears. That's why you walk into a room and suddenly forget why you're there. The memory never left the waiting room. For a memory to last, it has to move into long-term storage, spread across the outer layer of the brain. This is the warehouse. It's huge and it holds your skills, experiences, and identity. Your childhood memories, your habits, and your understanding of the world all live there. So how does information move from the waiting room to the warehouse? Sleep. You don't truly save memories while you're awake. You save them while you're asleep. During sleep, your brain quietly replays the day's events and decides what's worth keeping. If you skip sleep, that transfer never finishes. That's why all-night studying fails. The information stays in temporary storage and gets erased when new information arrives. But your brain doesn't store everything equally. It uses emotion as a filter. A small structure called the amygdala acts like an alarm system. When something triggers fear, excitement, embarrassment, or joy, that alarm goes off. It tells the brain this moment matters. Those memories get priority treatment and are stored more deeply. Boring or neutral information doesn't trigger the alarm, so the brain often lets it fade. This is why emotional moments feel vivid years later, while ordinary days blur together. Now here's the part most people don't expect. Every time you remember something, you change it. Memory isn't playback, it's reconstruction. When you recall an event, your brain rebuilds it using fragments, emotions, and assumptions from the present moment. Then it saves that new version again. Over time, details shift, emotions leak in, confidence grows even as accuracy fades. You may end up remembering the story you've told yourself, not the event as it actually happened. This is why two people can experience the same moment and remember it completely differently years later. Both memories feel real, both are partly edited. So how does the brain store memories? Not as files, not as recordings, but as living paths that grow stronger, weaker, and change shape over time. If you repeat something, the path widens. If you sleep well, it gets stored. If emotion is involved, it gets protected. Your memory isn't just a record of the past, it's something you are actively building right now, whether you realize it or not.